you've been asked a lot about the Byrds, a lot of books, a lot of articles, a lot of material on the internet that you yourself have provided to tell the story. If I had one question about that era and that band, it would be, in your opinion, what do you think the legacy of the Byrds is and will be? What will they sort of be remembered for? And what do you think is the most accurate legacy for the Byrds in terms of what they contributed?
I guess the Byrds' legacy would be in the influences, in the combining of folk and rock, the combining of the jazz of Coltrane, the sitar of Ravi Shankar, the country music of George Jones and Waylon Jennings, and just putting it all together and going hopping, genre hopping. So I think people were introduced to some of these genres because of what the Byrds did. And then the Jingle Jangle Sound, which was, I have to get the banjo again and show you that. The Jingle Jangle Sound, that's come to be a term used for that sound the Byrds made with the Rickenbacker electric 12-string guitar. And a lot of people pick up these Rickenbacker guitars and try to get that sound, and it doesn't come out naturally. And the reason is that it's based on the 5-string banjo. And so that whole thing is it's like you've got the underlying arpeggio going that's really based on these rolling patterns that you do on the banjo. So you slow that down, and then I changed it over from using a thumb pick like this to using a flat pick, and I moved the finger picks down from this finger to this finger so I could hold the flat pick. And that would be the underlying thing. And then let me get a Rickenbacker and I'll show you the rest. Banjo. So it's the banjo and the guitar combined. And then of course the Rickenbacker 12-string with, if you use compression, electronic compression in the recording studio, it sustains the notes much longer, and it gives it almost a wind instrument-like sound. It's a chimey kind of organ wind instrument. Like the notes never end. They just go as long as you want them to. And it's a great sound. It's one of the prettiest sounds I know.
Classic.
Kind of like a harpsichord.
How much did or didn't Terry Melcher have to do with the sound of the early Byrds records?
Terry was a good producer, but he was not an engineer. And so he would communicate with the staff engineers at Columbia Records, and they would come up with their own things. And Ray Gerhardt was the engineer who came up with the idea of using compression on the Rickenbacker. And that's what gave it that long, sustaining sound. Terry didn't know about that. I don't know if he asked for it to. I think Ray Gerhardt probably did it more out of protecting his equipment than making it sound better. Because they were very conscientious about their equipment. And so he would put a limiter on it so it wouldn't peg the meter or blow out the speakers or something.